Everybody's got an opinion about the Florida python crisis right now, and 90% of the time, they blame pet owners. Oh, irresponsible pet owners just dump their pets into the Everglades because they couldn't take care of it anymore. But what if I told you that is not the full story? Stick with me, because today we are debunking all of these nonsense myths and breaking down the exact reason why Florida is having a python crisis as we speak. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, so let's dive into it. So today, we are unpacking one of the most misunderstood stories about wildlife in American history today. How did the Burmese python take over the Florida Everglades? What really happened? And why are there thousands of wild giant snakes just slithering around? If you've ever heard someone say it's because of those irresponsible pet snake owners, drop it down below. So it's time to set the record straight. You have heard it everywhere. People bought snakes, got scared, got bored, and just dumped them off. They got too big, so they just dumped them off into the swamp. Here's the problem with that theory. Releasing one snake here, another snake there, another snake there, that does not create a population explosion. Here's something you guys could drop in the comments right now. Do you think one snake or a couple snakes released every single year would create a population explosion? Let me know, I want to hear it. Because honestly, here's the truth about that. A healthy breeding population needs a male and a female in the same area, same time, surviving and reproducing for years. One-off pet releases don't really make up for all the breeding. So where did it really start, though? The trigger event that catapulted everything forward.
Without electricity in that part of the state, Channel 2's Steve Gasquet was one of the many people who weathered the hurricane, and he
was 1992 Hurricane Andrew. We're gonna have to rewind to August 24th of 1992.
Yes, the affected towns are on the ocean, but in some places water mains are broken and uncontaminated water just doesn't exist.
Hurricane Andrew was a Category 5. It was an absolute monster slamming into southern Florida. The destruction, unimaginable.
The city of Homestead, Florida is today rebuilt. 3 decades ago, no one thought Homestead would recover. Hurricane Andrew, with wind gusts that broke one official gauge at 212 miles per hour. Across South Florida, Andrew destroyed 65,000 homes, left 175,000 people homeless.
Not just homes and businesses, but exotic animal facilities, breeding facilities, universities studying these animals, zoos, everything you can think of. And right in the heart of it, Homestead, Florida. A known reptile breeding facility was smack dab in Homestead, Florida.
At Ground Zero in Homestead, 15 people were directly killed by the hurricane.
Do you guys know where Homestead, Florida is located? It was completely destroyed, and dozens upon dozens of breeding size mature Burmese pythons were released. They escaped due to the hurricane and the damage caused. And if you know where Homestead, Florida is in comparison to the Everglades, it's not that hard for the snakes to just slither away and find home and find camp in a very similar climate as their native land. Comment Hurricane Andrew if you're just learning about Hurricane Andrew now, because this is literally the part that nobody ever talks about. And it's a huge critical role in what's going on in the Florida Everglades today. Because the snakes that escaped during Hurricane Andrew, they weren't hatchlings. They were sexually mature, full-grown Burmese pythons, and they were ready to breed. And that was the main catalyst. A single catastrophic event unleashed enough breeding-sized Burmese pythons into an environment that mimics their natural environment. You couldn't have a more perfect equation. Now, you could be saying, oh, Corey, you're blowing smoke. Well, the science backs it. Scientists have been actually studying this for decades. According to the research by the USGS, the National Park Service, and the University of Florida, Burmese pythons were seen in low numbers before 1992. After Hurricane Andrew, sightings skyrocketed. Genetic studies show a founder effect, meaning today's python population descends from a small group of original snakes. Founder's effect means that this wasn't some scattered random pet event. This was point source introduction, and the science backs it up. And if you're into science-backed breakdowns, hit that like button. One big escape, a handful of survivors, and boom, you have an invasion problem. And here's exactly why they thrive in Florida. The Everglades are literally almost a carbon copy of Southeast Asia, where they originate from. Warm, humid climate, 80 to 90 degrees. Super high humidity, 60 to 90% at times. Dense vegetation for hiding and ambushing their prey. They have year-round access to raccoons, rabbits, birds, other reptiles. They really don't have any known natural predators in Florida. In other words, Florida rolled out the red carpet to the Burmese pythons. They didn't just survive, they absolutely thrived in Florida. What's your guess on how big these snakes actually get in the wild? Drop them down below. Because these snakes had everything they needed. They had food. They had temps, they had humidity, they had cover, and they had nobody hunting them, and nothing to stop them. So let's break down the Burmese python's profile for you so you can get a better understanding of how they are surviving for all of these years. Because let's be honest, Burmese pythons seem to have superpowers, because these are the traits that made them the perfect invasive species. Native to Southeast Asia, forest, swamps, grasslands. They are literally excellent swimmers. They can stay submerged for up to 30 minutes. Females average anywhere from 14 to 16 feet, and they can well exceed 18 plus feet in the wild. Males are averaging anywhere from 8 to 12 feet. And here's the kicker. These guys can weigh 100 to 200 plus pounds. They grow 6 plus feet in the first year to 2 years of their life. They reproduce once a year, laying anywhere from 20 to 100 plus eggs. The females stay with the eggs and they coil around them to incubate them. The hatchlings grow fast. They're ready to hunt day one. And now if we take that and put that into the Everglades, warm weather year round. There's literally prey everywhere. Every direction. There's no natural predators to hunt them. They have extremely dense cover. They can swim through the canals, they can swim through the rivers, they can swim through the swamps, the marshes, and 30 to 100 babies every single year. Imagine releasing 30 per year per female. That adds up really fast. Now here's the problem, the ecological impact that it's having. Since their introduction, Burmese pythons have devastated native wildlife, and I'm not going to deny that. 99% decline in raccoons, possums, and rabbits in some areas. They are competing with alligators and bobcats for food. They are disrupting the food web, which means fewer smaller mammals, fewer prey for native predators. It's been documented that they're eating raccoons. It's been documented that they're eating rabbits, possums, deer, birds, bobcats, and even some cases, alligators. They're not just another snake in the swamp. They literally have become the apex predator of the Everglades, and the ecosystem was not prepared for such an apex predator. Did you guys know that they could eat alligators? Let me know down below. And here's exactly why pet releases do not work alone. We have to circle back to this myth. A few pet releases here and there could never start this population explosion. And here's exactly why. You're gonna need multiple males and multiple females. Same area, same time, surviving long enough to breed, and reproducing repeatedly for years. One lonely snake dumped into the park is not gonna cut this, but a breeding facility destroyed in a hurricane, on the other hand, releasing multiple males and multiple females at the same time who are in the process of breeding or going to be bred in an absolute perfect environment. That's how it started, and that's how it happened. And of course, there are other factors involved because it didn't just stop there. Later hurricanes like Wilma, Katrina, Irma damaged more facilities. Delayed detection and control also contributed to this. It let the population spread because it was all delayed. Florida was already reducing their pet loss, but by then it was already way too late. Disaster, escape, perfect habitat, no predators, and plenty of prey. What are you gonna get? So the next time someone says, oh, it's irresponsible pet snake owners for the whole problem with the Everglades in Florida, you can tell them legitimately and with confidence, the Florida python problem is not just because of irresponsible pet owners. It's literally the result of a perfect storm. No pun intended.
If we don't have this road right here, we don't have life right here. This is where the food and supplies is coming in.
4 lanes through a path of destruction. For the people of South Florida, US 1 is
a natural disaster escaped breeding adults in an ecosystem that is perfect for them and just rolled out the red carpet and said, come on in. And honestly, decades of missed opportunities. If you've been blaming pet owners, no shame. I mean, how could you know? It's never really in the news, and plenty of reputable news sources or even educational channels like National Geographic blame it on pet owners.
Poor care, neglect, and accidents have caused many pythons, originally taken in as pets, to kill native wildlife, other pets, and even children.
But now you know better, so make sure to hit that share button and send this to somebody who really needs to hear the real story. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and drop all of your comments and questions in the section below. I read them all and I love answering every single comment. So stay curious, stay compassionate, and until next time,